Hi Dusty Buddies and Dusty Boys, I'm here with Rich Drew from the Ride Series and my friend Rosa. So we're here in Bentonville, Arkansas, and a couple of months ago when I was in Arizona, I took a clinic from the Ride Series, which is Rich and his brother Rob, their coaching clinic that they do together. And while I was in Bentonville, I was really hoping to connect with you and get some more coaching, because this is an awesome place to session a lot of things.
I'm definitely excited we can do it, and this is a great spot. This is the top of All-American, so if you've been here, you probably understand it. If you haven't been here, literally downtown is right there. So Onyx Coffee Lab is right there. So you roll into this top spot, it is just a perfectly groomed section with rollers and small jumps and great berms. So it's like the perfect place to really learn how to polish some of that technique and work on it in an environment that's very friendly. So that's what we're gonna do today. If somebody said right now, give me one of the most important things that you can with jumping, it's keep your hips neutral. You want your hips over the bottom bracket. So many people, when they come up to jumps, they want to start to shoot their hips back. So a lot of them either do it as they come off the takeoff, or once they come off the takeoff, they shoot your hips back. And the problem is, you want your hips over the bottom bracket. We call that the neutral position. And the reason you want that is, if something goes wrong when you're in the air, you want to be able to then move your hips back to compensate. It's a lot easier to move your hips back than it is to move them forward. So hip placement as you come off is very important. The second thing is, you don't want to lift the bike. So many people, you see them, they come off a jump and they lift the bike. Don't do that. What you want to do is push in. So you want to push into the takeoff. You want to drive your heels down and use the angle of the takeoff and the suspension of the bike to get your lift. Now, it's easier said than done, because what you also have to do is give yourself something to push against. And the way you do that is, you're gonna actually open up your torso and let your arms come back and almost pull back with the bars as you push down. Pull back, not up. Don't lift the bike. So that's what we're gonna work on right now.
Let's do it. Go.
Don't hunch up and pull the bike up into you. Stay open with the bike, and then actually didn't throw your hips that far back. What you want to do is you want to try to keep your hips over the bottom bracket as much as you can. Okay. So if you look at the trajectory of the takeoff and the landing, you want the bike to follow that arc, and your body, your torso is going to roll with it. So if that means the takeoff was like this and the landing was like this, when you land, you're going to be looking at the ground going, holy crap.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Okay.
And when that happens, you're going to go, wow, that was way smoother. Okay, look where your torso is in relationship to the handlebars. You're way over. As you go into the face of the jump, you're going to compress the fork. What's going to happen is the fork's going to start to rebound. That's where I want my arms open to let that energy come back up. But the way I maximize that energy is how much I push down with my heels as I'm moving back with my arms. So if I want massive lift, I'm going to stay back and push as hard as I can down with my heels to push hard into the face to get that lift. But if I don't stay back with my arms, I'll get major lift with the back and just buck myself right over the bars, which is what a lot of people do. They end up driving their mass into the takeoff with the rear of the bike, and boing, they go right over. Okay. Try it again. Awesome.
Another one under the belt.
That was rad. Yeah, that was way better, both of you. I mean, but hang on, don't even worry about that. Focus on this right here.
Okay.
So look at your body position.
Yep.
Arms are way more open, torso's way more upright, hips are over the bottom bracket. That is awesome right there. What we have to work out, yeah, so literally right there, all you need to think about doing is torso back.
So funny, because I feel like I'm coming, oh man, I feel like my arms were like so straight, but look at it and it's like I'm still like this over the bike.
But compared to the first one, it was a massive improvement. Right. Yeah, so try it again. Yes. way better though.
Okay.
We're already way better. The arms are a lot straighter. What we need to try to do now is rotate your torso back a little bit more. See where my head is in relation to the front? Your head is up here.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to move everything back. So you need to relax and let your arms get almost straight.
This is really good for me because I'm realizing it's one of those things where I'm not gonna like nail it today probably, but it's definitely giving me like really specific feedback and things to work on as I session stuff in the future. But yeah, it's going really well. So we're gonna go session another jump and just kind of work on a lot of the same stuff in a different situation.
So now you've worked on trying to open your torso up, get your arms straight, push your heels down, and open up and pull back. Well, when you do it here, that window will be a little bit bigger. So in theory, it should be a little bit easier here.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Let's do it.
Good, pump those down sides. Nice. All right, Tess. Watch that tree.
I do love trees.
Lean left.
Once I'm in the air, I'm like, what's going on? Where am I?
You're in Bentonville. Much better. Did you feel that orientation of the back of the bike come up? So it actually sets you up for the landing. All we have to do now is a little more speed, get a little more lift, so you'll travel a little bit farther and hit that downside. But that was a good progression. Let's see it again. There you go. The more comfortable you are being in the air, the better things are gonna go, because when you're comfortable, you can relax. When you relax, it's amazing what you can do with the bike. Now we're gonna move to a really cool spot down low. You rip through this berm and hit a cool little tabletop. This one's straight. You don't have to worry about hitting a tree this time.
All right, here we go. Next.
Okay, pump that downside. Nice, not bad. But this right here, great, look at that. Boom. Now we can still, we're gonna tweak this, some nuance, torso back a tiny bit. Much better.
Okay.
You're much better here, but you need to be way further back. See how your arms straighten out, how you push the bike in front of you?
Uh-huh.
You seeing that?
Yeah.
So if you would have stayed just
stayed
like that,
on the bike.
if you would have stayed like that and let your torso stay forward, you would have downsided. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. If you roll forward right now, okay, the back of the bike's gonna come up a little bit higher and roll right down that.
And it'll make the difference of a couple
Totally
feet.
makes the difference.
Yeah.
All right, one of the coolest parlor tricks in the game is the wheelie. Everyone wants to know how to wheelie. Wheeling's way simpler than people make it out to be. Literally keep your arms straight. I know it sounds oversimplified, but all you gotta do is pop up and find that balance point and keep it with your right finger. And notice my arms are straight. So I could literally just cruise down this. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use my left knee as a rudder. So my knees are rudders. So I can move the bike all over. But as long as I keep my arms straight and my hip crease fixed, it's way easier. I break it down into 3 steps. First is close your elbows and shoot your torso back to pop the bike up. That's what that looks like. Incredibly simple. You have to get the bike up and find the balance point. Nobody wants to do that, okay? See these things? You can put down some pretty decent watts. That doesn't matter. You don't want that. It's not power, it's not this. Relax. This is more of like a namaste, zen sort of thing. You just want to find that balance point. When I pop up, I just want to exist. I just want to be happy. But I always need my right finger. The right finger's key. The right finger sits right here on the brakes. So once I find that balance point, all I gotta do, keep that hip crease fixed and just live right there. And that's what that guy's for.
One-handed.
Yep. So that right there, if you would have drug a tiny bit of brake and kept your arm straight, yeah, you could have just found that point and rode that point out. There we go. That's how you commit and find that spot. There we go, better. So you got that angle. You have the bike up where it needed to be. You just have to trust it and stay back. Close, open.
Yeah.
Oh!
Woo! I got out of that, but that's the most I've ever got.
Better. So stay back though.
Yep.
Relax. Stay back. Relax your knees.
Okay.
Good. That looks good. Technique looks good. You're popping up well. Not bad. Now, what we need to do is find the fulcrum point. You're going power, power, power because you have it. Yeah. Don't rely on the power. What you want to do is get it popped up and then slowly feed in the pedals. Because when you're trying to power it like that, what you're doing is you're getting super tight and you're listing to one side or the other. You have to stay relaxed. You're getting up decently, but you're getting up at like 70%, and then it's just power and grind it. Try to pop the bike up. So think about moving in space way slower and getting the bike up quicker. There, okay, that now, you would have just straightened out your arms. That would have been awesome. So do everything the same except straighten your arms out. You gotta stay back, relax your neck. Okay, again, better, just stay back. Stay back, the lift is great. All right, take a break for a second. It gets tiring. So it's not always about power, it's about technique. And it's amazing how if you use proper technique, if you hone your technique, you'll be able to outride, out wheelie, out manual, maybe not out manual, somebody who has more power or more strength.
And I think that's one thing that like really convinced me to give you and Rob and like your coaching a try was because like the way that you guys ride, I met Rob first and he was riding really technical stuff on South Mountain and he makes these like huge power moves look easy, and they're not easy, they're not even easy for him, but he has the technique and it's so efficient, it just looks like butter.
He's not a powerful guy. Don't let him tell you otherwise. The dude's not powerful. He looks like he's riding a chicken. He has no muscle mass on his legs, but in spite of that, he does things that defy physics and gravity, and it's incredibly frustrating because he makes them look way too easy. But that just shows you how important the technique is. You wouldn't think those skinny legs could climb the wall. Damn it, they do.
Well, and that was one thing that I said going into the clinic was that, you know, I realized that, you know, I don't have tons of power, so the technique is gonna have to be perfect for me to do some of the stuff I want, so. You know?
Yeah, the technique part of it, and that's, I think, why the clinics have been so successful is the technique is the technique. That's why we call it the fundamentals course, is you have to have body positioning, you have to be able to apply brakes effectively, you have to be able to turn effectively and do lifts and drops and jump. Those are the things. And you simply hone those as you go. It's not rocket science, it's small little tweaks, it's a nuance here and there, and finding a way to maximize who you are as a rider and implement that technique as much as you can. Get that lift. There it is, much better. When you get the lift, yeah, you gotta relax the neck. Pretty good. Arms, straight arms, better. Much better when the arms are straight.
One good reminder that Rich gave us is that you do tire out doing these things, and you need to take a few minutes sometimes to take a breather, and you need to know when to call it quits, which I love. When I was at the clinic, it gets to a point where they can tell people are tiring out when we were doing jumps, and so they just tip the ramp over and they're like, we're cutting you off, guys. So I think that is a wrap for tonight. Thank you so much for spending the time with us and all of the live feedback. That helps a ton, and it's great because even though, you know, we're not hitting 30-foot gaps, like, we definitely have our work cut out for us. Yeah,
Session 2, 25-foot gaps.
Yeah, we just have to come back to Bentonville next year, and then
it's building on this. Like, to hit 30-foot gaps, it's building on everything we just did. That's all it comes down to.
And make sure you guys check out the ride series. You guys do clinics in Arizona. You also have some here in Bentonville.
Yeah, we're based in Bentonville in Arizona. The ride series, mtb.com.
This was super helpful for me. I've watched YouTube videos trying to figure out how to do things like jumps and how to do wheelies, and I've been practicing. Turns out I've been practicing them slightly wrong. He has helped me so much in figuring out those minute technique differences in how to lift and how to tone my power into these techniques. Having that direct feedback was so helpful in making progression in a much shorter amount of time. That was priceless.
Well, we've got our work cut out for us. Thanks for watching. Get dusty. What kind did you get?
El Ranchero.
El Ranchero. Mine is the Thai vegan. This be looking so good.